Have you ever had that nagging feeling that something just isn't right in your relationship? That sense that the person you're with isn't as committed as you are? You're not alone. Throughout history, men have wrestled with trust, loyalty, and commitment in relationships. Even the great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius had wisdom to share about human nature, deception, and self-control. Today, we're diving deep into 11 secret signs that she may have multiple partners, viewed through the lens of Stoicism. These insights won't just help you navigate modern relationships, but will also strengthen your mindset and emotional resilience. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, because what you're about to learn could completely change your love life. And trust me, you'll want to watch this video until the end. 1. She's emotionally distant. The Stoic principle of perception. Have you ever been in a relationship where you could just feel the distance? Maybe you're sitting right next to her, but it feels like she's miles away. Conversations become shorter. Texts take longer to get a reply, and suddenly, the warmth that once existed is gone. It's a gut feeling, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, taught us something powerful. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. What does this mean for your relationship? It means that when a woman starts pulling away emotionally, you have two choices. You can panic, chase, and try to force her back, or you can recognize the truth, accept it, and maintain your dignity. Here's the harsh reality. People don't just emotionally distance themselves for no reason. If she's truly invested in you, she will want to be present. She will share her thoughts, her feelings, and her energy with you. But if she's giving you less and less while still keeping you around, it might be because her attention is divided. Ask yourself this: does she seem disinterested in your life? Does she no longer ask deep questions or seem engaged? Do you feel like she's just going through the motions? If you're nodding your head, then you're feeling something real. But here's where Stoicism saves you. A Stoic man doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't force someone to stay. If she's pulling away, you don't chase, you observe, accept, and decide what's best for you. Don't let her emotional distance make you question your worth. Instead, use it as clarity. A woman who truly loves you won't leave you feeling uncertain. 2. She guards her phone like a secret scroll. The Stoic view on honesty. Let's be real, our phones have become an extension of ourselves. They hold our messages, our social interactions, and our private lives. But here's a question for you. Does she treat her phone like it's a top secret government file? Does she quickly flip it over when you walk by? Does she get defensive if you casually ask, who's texting? Does she take her phone to the bathroom, the shower, or even under her pillow at night? Think about this. In a healthy relationship, there is no need for secrecy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. A woman who values honesty has nothing to hide. Now, let's be clear, I'm not saying you should snoop through her messages. That's not what a Stoic man does. A Stoic man simply observes. If she guards her phone as if it holds the secrets of the universe, what is she afraid of you seeing? Love should be built on trust, not paranoia. A truly committed partner won't make you feel like you need to be a detective in your own relationship. Ask yourself this: does she act nervous when her phone lights up near you? Does she suddenly become overprotective of her privacy? Has she changed her phone habits recently? If these things are happening, pay attention. A woman who is all in will be transparent. If she's hiding something, she's already creating distance. But remember, your job is not to control her. Your job is to control yourself. If you sense secrecy, the best thing you can do is trust yourself. A Stoic man doesn't demand access, he recognizes reality and acts accordingly. 3. She's always unavailable, the art of acceptance. Now let's talk about availability. Think back to when you first started dating her. Was she eager to spend time with you? Did she text first? Did she rearrange her schedule just to see you? Now ask yourself, has that changed? If suddenly she's always busy, constantly making excuses, or taking hours or days to respond to a simple text, it's not an accident. Marcus Aurelius gives us a simple but powerful truth. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Read that again. If she's treating you like an option, why are you trying to prove you're worthy of being a priority? A Stoic man doesn't beg for time. He doesn't wait around for scraps of attention. If she's too busy to see you, she's making a choice. And here's something you need to remember. People make time for what's important to them. Now I get it. You might be thinking, but she's really busy with work, or family, or life. Sure, that's possible. But deep down, you know the difference between someone who is genuinely busy and someone who just isn't prioritizing you. Ask yourself this. Did she used to make time for you, but now she barely does? Does she cancel plans last minute, but still has time for her friends? Do you feel like you're the one always initiating? Here's the truth, if she wanted to be there, she would be. If she wanted you, you wouldn't have to wonder. A Stoic man doesn't waste energy chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught. Instead, he values his time and moves on with dignity. The moment you stop chasing is the moment you take back your power. Remember, a woman who truly wants you will not leave you questioning where you stand. 4. She has mysterious gaps in her schedule. The virtue of clarity. Think back to the early days of your relationship. You probably knew her daily routine when she worked, when she went to the gym, when she hung out with friends. You didn't even have to ask. She would just tell you. But now things feel off. She disappears for hours. Her stories don't add up. One day she says she was busy with work, but later, you see photos of her at some event she never mentioned. It's that feeling in your gut, isn't it? You sense something's not right. Marcus Aurelius had a rule for this kind of situation. Clarity over assumptions. A Stoic man does not assume, he observes. And here's what you need to ask yourself. Does she frequently change plans last minute without explanation? Do her stories about where she's been seem inconsistent? Does she get defensive when you ask about her day? If she's constantly vague or her schedule has too many unexplained gaps, pay attention. A person who is committed to you won't make you feel like you need to play detective. Now here's the hard part. You don't need to call her out. A Stoic man doesn't chase people for the truth. He recognizes it when it presents itself. If she's not being transparent, then she's already showing you where you stand. And if she's making you feel uncertain about her time, ask yourself, why are you accepting it? A man of value does not tolerate confusion. He seeks clarity, and if clarity reveals dishonesty, he walks away with his dignity intact. 5. She avoids deep conversations, Stoic control over desires. Do you remember the late-night conversations you used to have? The ones where she shared her dreams, fears, and everything in between? That connection, that intimacy was real, but now something has changed. The deep talks have faded and every conversation feels shallow. You ask, how was your day? And she just says, fine. You try to talk about the future and she changes the subject. You ask about how she feels and she just gives you short, vague answers. You feel it, don't you? She's not letting you in anymore. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And here's something you need to realize: if she's avoiding deep conversations, it's because she doesn't want you to know what she's thinking. A woman who is emotionally invested in you wants to connect deeply. She wants to talk about life, about you, about us. But when a woman is juggling multiple options, she will keep conversations on the surface because deep talks mean deeper commitment. And she's avoiding that. Ask yourself, has she stopped talking about her feelings? Does she avoid serious discussions about the future? Do conversations feel forced or transactional? Here's the truth: a woman who avoids deep talks is either losing interest or keeping her options open. But a Stoic man does not force connection. If she's not meeting you at your level, step back. Let her show you where she stands. The moment you stop pushing for deep conversations is the moment you see the truth. A woman who truly wants you will never avoid talking to you. 6. Her social circle is full of mystery, the power of observation. Think about it when you first started dating. She probably introduced you to her friends. You knew who she hung out with and it felt natural. But now her social life is confusing. One day she's hanging out with friends you've never heard of. The next, she's with people she claims she just met. And the worst part? She never gives you straight answers about them. Marcus Aurelius had a simple rule for this. Look to a person's actions, not their words. So let's apply this to her. Does she constantly talk about friends you've never met? Does she get defensive when you ask who she was with? Does she suddenly have a lot of male friends that she never mentioned before? Listen closely. A woman who is truly committed to you wants you to know her world. She will introduce you to the people she values because she wants you in her life. But if she's keeping her social life separate, if she's being secretive about her circle, that's intentional. Now, I'm not saying every woman with a busy social life is hiding something, but if she's making it a point to keep you out of it, ask yourself why. And here's the key takeaway: you don't need to confront her. A Stoic man does not demand access. He observes, understands, and acts accordingly. If she's keeping her world hidden from you, there's a reason. And maybe, just maybe, that reason is because she's not as committed as you think. So what do? You stop asking. You stop wondering. And you start focusing on the one thing you can control: your own self-worth. 7. She's overly flirtatious. Stoic detachment from desires. Let's be honest, flirting is natural. A little playful energy? That's completely fine. But what happens when she seems to flirt with everyone? When you go out together, does she always find a way to engage other men, even when you're right next to her? Think back to a time when you were with her in a social setting. Maybe you were at a party, a bar, or even just walking down the street. Did you notice how she seemed to crave attention not just from you, but from other men too? Did she laugh just a little too hard at another guy's jokes? Was there a look in her eyes that felt off? Marcus Aurelius gave us a powerful truth. He who indulges in empty desires will be enslaved by them. A woman who constantly seeks validation from other men is never truly satisfied with one man. She thrives on attention, and attention is like a drug. The more she gets, the more she craves. Ask yourself this: does she always position herself to be noticed by other men? Does she downplay her flirtatious behavior when you bring it up? Do you feel like you're competing for her attention, even when it should just be you and her? Here's the truth: you will never be enough for a woman who needs validation from every man she meets. And a Stoic man? He does not compete for attention. He observes, and when he sees this pattern, he steps back. Because a high-value man knows this. A woman who truly values him will never make him feel like an option in a room full of distractions. 8. She frequently mentions an ex, the past's grip on the present. Have you ever been in a conversation with her where her ex's name just pops up? Maybe you were talking about something completely unrelated: movies, music, a restaurant, and suddenly she says, "Oh, my ex and I used to go there all the time." At first you might brush it off, but then it keeps happening. The more you listen, the more you realize her ex still lives in her mind. Marcus Aurelius gave us a hard truth about the past. Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. Translation: people who are truly over the past do not keep bringing it into the present. Ask yourself this: does she compare you to her ex? Does she bring up memories with her ex for no reason? Does she still follow him on social media, talk about what he's doing, or act emotional when he's mentioned? Here's the brutal truth: if she's still emotionally connected to him, she's not fully available to you. You're not dating just her. You're dating her and the ghost of the relationship she never let go of. And a Stoic man? He does not compete with memories. He does not waste his energy trying to prove that he is better than the last guy. Instead, he recognizes this: a woman who is truly ready for love will not bring her past into her present. If she keeps living in the past, then you already know where you stand, and it's not where you deserve to be. 9. She changes her behavior. When you're around the Stoic pursuit of truth, here's a question for you: does she act differently when she's with you versus when she's with other people? Think about it. When it's just the two of you, she's affectionate, warm, and engaging. But the moment you step into a social setting, she switches. Suddenly she's distant. She barely acknowledges you. Or worse, she acts single. Marcus Aurelius had a simple rule: to live happily is an inward power of the soul. A person who is genuine doesn't change who they are based on who is watching. If she loves you in private but acts like you don't exist in public, that's a problem. Ask yourself, does she hold your hand and show affection when it's just you two, but avoid it when others are around? Does she act reserved around certain people, as if she doesn't want them to know she's with you? Does her energy shift depending on who's watching? Here's the truth: a woman who truly values you will never hide you. If she's changing her behavior based on her environment, she is living two different lives. And a Stoic man? He does not tolerate confusion. He does not settle for half-love. So if you've noticed this behavior, don't ignore it. Because the reality is this: a woman who loves you will love you in every room, not just the one where no one else is watching. 10. She avoids commitment, the Stoic principle of self-respect. Let me ask you something. Does she hesitate when the conversation turns serious? Maybe you've talked about the future, asked where things are going, or even just wanted to define the relationship, and instead of a clear answer, she dodges the question. She says things like, "Let's just see where this goes. I don't want to rush things." Why do we need labels? At first it might seem reasonable. Maybe she really does want to take things slow. But how long is slow supposed to last? How long are you supposed to wait in uncertainty while she keeps you in a gray area? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. And what does that mean in love? If you desire a real commitment, you should not settle for someone who won't meet you there. Ask yourself, does she change the subject whenever commitment is brought up? Does she act like a girlfriend but refuse to give the relationship a title? Does she always have an excuse for why she's not ready but never works towards being ready? Here's the truth: you deserve certainty. A woman who genuinely wants to be with you will not hesitate to claim you. She won't play mind games, keep things vague, or act like she's just going with the flow. And a Stoic man?
He does not wait around in confusion.
If she avoids commitment, he respects himself enough to walk away. Because if she truly valued you, she wouldn't make you question your place in her life. 11. She only gives you attention when she needs. Something the Stoic art of self-worth. Think about this: when does she text you the most? When does she suddenly become sweet, affectionate, or interested? Is it only when she needs something? Let's say she disappears for days, barely responding to your messages. Then out of nowhere she hits you with, "Hey babe, can you do me a favor? I really need your help with something. Can I borrow your car money time?" And suddenly she's all about you until she gets what she wants. Then, poof, she vanishes again. Marcus Aurelius taught us, do not waste what remains of your life in speculation about others when it does not help your own self-mastery. A woman who only shows up when she needs something is not interested in you. She's interested in what you can provide. Ask yourself, does she only reach out when she needs something from you? Does she suddenly become affectionate when she wants a favor? Does she disappear after she gets what she wants? This is not love. This is not care. This is convenience. And here's the thing: a Stoic man knows his worth. He does not buy love with favors. He does not confuse attention with affection. He understands that a woman who truly cares will not only reach out when she needs something. So what do? You stop giving to someone who only takes. You reclaim your energy, your time, and your value. Because a high-value man is not a backup plan, a safety net, or a source of favors. A woman who truly values you will want you not just what you can do for her. Final thoughts: the Stoic path to emotional strength. If you've noticed several of these signs, don't react with anger or despair. Instead, embrace Stoicism. Control what you can, your actions and decisions. Accept what you can't, her choices and behavior. Walk away with dignity when necessary. A true Stoic man values his own peace above all else. If she is not fully invested, let her go without bitterness. Remember, Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time dwelling on deceit, he focused on building inner strength. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.